Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about red eye and specifically the program modes that you can use on some cameras that say red eye reduction. What is red eye and what does red eye reduction do? Well, it's pretty simple. Red eye is caused by using a flash on your camera that shoots light at your subject. The light goes through the eye, hits the blood in the back of the eye, the veins in the back of the eye, the red in the back of the eye, and then it comes back out, causing the eye to look red. Red eye. Now, if the eyes are dilated down, if the pupils are quite tiny, you get less red eye. If the pupils are dilated larger, if it's a dark room, if the eyes are looking towards dark and they're dilated huge, you get more red eye. Now, as a joke, I always tell my students that if you ever photograph a human and the eyes are green or the eyes are purple and they're just not, you're not getting red eye, you're getting something else glowing out of it, run because they're aliens, they're not human. The red is because of the blood at the back of the eye. Now, an easy way to get rid of it, simple way to get rid of it is don't use flash. But in a lot of situations, you have to use flash, especially in dark rooms. And in dark rooms, in dark situations, that's when the eyes of your subject dilate and get bigger and you get more red eye. A lot of cameras have red eye reduction. What does that do? Well, that causes the subject's eye to dilate down, and it usually does it in one of two ways. The first way is that it sends out what's called a pre-flash. So you go to take the picture. If red eye reduction is on, the flash will go flash, 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 and it causes the eyes to dilate down, and you get less red eye. Generally, you still get red eye, but it's not as bad. It's not as dramatic. The second way is what I call the headlight or the landing light. You go to take a picture, and a light comes on your camera, a really bright light, and it shines into your subject's eye, and it causes the eyes to dilate down for just a second. You take the picture and you get less red eye. Now, here's the problem with both of those ways. The pre-flash I find is the worst because as soon as the pre-flash starts, people close their eyes. It's a natural, instinctive thing for people to do. It's like people will tell you, oh, I think I closed my eyes when you took that picture. Well, what usually happens is if you're not using red eye reduction, the flash goes off, and as soon as the flash goes off, they close their eyes. And once they close their eyes, they say, oh, I closed my eyes. Well, fortunately, you already had the picture. With red eye reduction, with it going flash, 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 what happens is after the first flash, people close their eyes because it's bright. And guess what? By the time the red eye reduction stops and it actually takes the flash picture, you get people's eyes closed. Or they're partially open where they're just opening their eyes from closing it. So red eye reduction really doesn't work very well. It's there. It's usually turned on your camera because all the manufacturers think you're going to use it, but it just doesn't work well. So how can you reduce red eye so that it does work well? Well, there's a few ways of doing it. A lot of these can be used, some easier than others, some will take some time, and some just aren't practical. So the first way, if you're taking pictures, turn lights on in the room. One of the worst days of the year to take pictures and get red eye is Christmas morning. That's because people want to have pictures taken with the Christmas tree lights on, no lights on in the room. People are tired. Their eyes are dilated big anyways because they're tired. The room's dark, so they're dilated even more. And people take pictures and everybody has red eye. So how do you get rid of red eye? Turn lights on in the room. Make the room brighter. It's simple. Now, a trick. If you were taking my picture from the position of where that camera is right now, it does no good for you to turn lights on behind me because I am still looking into a dark room. What works is to turn lights on in front of your subject so the subject is looking into light. Now, don't make it blinding so that they're squinting or anything like that, but there's no sense turning lights on behind your subject because their eyes aren't going to use that light to dilate down. You want to light up the whole room, or you just want to light up where the subject is looking towards. So you can still have the windows closed behind the Christmas tree. You can still have the Christmas lights on. Just turn lights on in the room. Next way that you can prevent red eye or reduce red eye is don't have your subjects stare at the camera. If you have kids that are opening Christmas presents on Christmas morning and they're looking down, going like this, and playing with their toys or opening their presents, take the pictures then. Don't call them and say, hey, Johnny, look at me. And Johnny goes like this, and you take a flash, and Johnny's eyes look like they are demon eyes. Don't have them look at the pictures. Also, if you're taking family pictures, don't have people stare at the camera. If they're talking to one another, just take pictures while they're talking. If they're doing stuff, just take pictures while they're doing it. Don't have them look and stare directly at the camera. If you're doing family pictures, I understand the need to do that, but turn lights on in the room. Now, how can you get rid of red eye, which will maybe cost you more money if you don't already have it? One is if you have an external flash. An external flash is a flash that sits on top of the camera. The higher the flash is away from the lens, the less red eye you get. The most red eye you get is when you have one of these cameras with a built-in flash that either pops up just a little ways, that's down lower, or off to the side of the camera. Because it's so close to where the lens is, you get more red eye. The higher or further away from the lens you go, the less red eye you get. That's why in a studio, the lights are up higher. Not only does it make the pictures look nicer, the lighting look nicer, but you get less red eye. Doesn't eliminate it completely. I've still had red eye from certain individuals in the studio, but it gets you less red eye. So that's another way to get rid of red eye. So should you use the red eye reduction on your camera? My suggestion is turn it off. It just doesn't work. Does it get less red eye? It usually does because the people's eyes are closed. But it does no good to have the people's eyes closed while you're taking pictures just to get rid of red eye. It just doesn't work. Now, can you fix red eye afterwards? Yes. A lot of programs have red eye reduction, red eye elimination in them. So that will work as well. One thing in closing. I get thousands of people asking about their pets' eyes glowing. This is not red eye. This is just pet eye or animal eye. Their eyes are so big that when you fire a flash at it, they just light up. No setting on a camera that I have ever seen will get rid of that. What will get rid of that? Turning the flash off. I had one lady come in years ago that was getting glowing eyes from her horses. And she shot her horses outside, usually in the evening, and the eyes were always glowing. So I told her simply, turn up the ISO, turn your flash off. She contacted me and says, it worked perfect. There was no more glowing eye in my horses. Works wonderful. I had a father and a son come to one of my seminars one time. The only thing they wanted to learn was how not to get the glowing eyes in their cats. They had a pile of cats. They raised cats. They bred cats. They were cat fanatics. The only thing they wanted to know was how to get rid of the glowing eyes in their cats. They talked to one of the people there. They says, oh, that's easy. Just use natural light and the eyes will look perfect. They left. They were ecstatic. They went home and they shot a bunch of rolls of film. This was back in the film days. They had them developed. They were just ecstatic. So with pets, the best way is just don't use flashes. Don't use light shining in their eyes because that will make them glow. So until next time, have a great day. Get out there and take some amazing pictures without red eye or glowing eyes. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.